The harder you work, the more success generally in life you're going to have. You know, the people that we admire or look up to are usually, they work their ass off to get there. So I just try to put in as much work as I can and hope that that effort results in great results.
Hey, this is Jordan Hill with Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. And thank you to Allie Barnes with Northwestern Home Loans for being one of the sponsors on this episode.
And also, Centurion Real Estate Management, Jesse over there, that's his outfit. And we appreciate this opportunity to sponsor your show, and hopefully a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, who's this guy sitting across from me? Wonder if anybody knows how to get here.
I'm Cameron Haynes.
Yeah.
We're in my studio gym, and it's going to be a fun discussion. It's good to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here and for hosting in your space.
Yeah.
Really lucky.
Yeah.
So this is where the magic happens. Well,
I guess.
Where some of the prep work goes to make the magic happen, I guess I should say.
We lift, run, shoot, and this is the lift part of it.
Yeah. So you talk about lift, run, shoot. Elaborate on that. That's one of your philosophies, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's just how I prepare for, I'm a bow hunter for people that don't know.
Yep.
I grew up in a small town just outside of Springfield here. And if you're cool or a badass, you hunted. And so I just kind of took that and wanted to be a good hunter. And what that's evolved into is sort of a career. And then what I learned is to prepare for the mountains, I need to be at my best, need to be resilient, strong, endurance, all those things. So I lift weights every day, I run the mountain every day, and I shoot my bow every day. And I feel like that helps me prepare.
Yeah. And it makes you better it makes you an elite bow hunter doing all that prep work when nobody's looking.
Yeah. It's what you do in the dark matters, I think is the saying people call on. But yeah, so it's the harder you work, the more success generally in life you're going to have. You know, the people that we admire or look up to are usually, they work their ass off to get there.
Right.
So I just try to put in as much work as I can and hope that that effort results in great results.
Yeah. Now, are you naturally athletic? Tell us a little bit about your childhood athletics. Was that always a part of your life?
Yeah, I wanted to be athletic. My dad was he was a great athlete here in town. Everybody knew him. Then he was a coach over at South Eugene for many years, and he was, elite for sure. And so that was my goal. My mom and dad were divorced when I was pretty young, so he was more of like a kind of the legend. His name is Bob Haynes, so it's kind of the legend of Bob Haynes. I didn't really get to see him that much, but I heard stories. And so, as a young boy, your dad is already your superhero, but especially so when he was so well known in town and then he wasn't around. So then that just even built up more. So my goal was to always be a great athlete like my dad was. And, I didn't have the success he did, but that was the goal.
Yeah. Well, in a different way, of course, you know. Yeah. So did that motivate you? So it must have motivated you more than if you didn't have kind of the situation you had with him. He was celebrated, but he was out of reach. So that must have made you try harder. Did you feel like you would ever get to his level?
Oh, no. I think I just wanted him to acknowledge me. So I never really thought about where I'd get to, but every kid, especially his son, wants the approval or recognition from their dad. So I think it was just probably as simple as that. I thought, if my dad was a jumper and he's, vault and everything else. But I thought, well, if I could do good at running, then he'd notice. And so I think it was just more like that. It wasn't really no goal other than just hope my dad cared.
And then later on, towards when you were an adult and you kind of were brought closer together later on, right?
Yeah, I mean, he when he got sober, he definitely changed, and it was healthier for sure.
Right.
And he was coaching a lot of. He was great with kids. You know, I always I look back on it now. You know, I'm old, so it's like it doesn't really matter what happened when I was a kid. But I look back on it now, and I'm like, what I had to go without, he offered probably thousands of other kids over coaching for 30 years. So yes, I lost out, but I think so many others gained because of the lessons he learned. He made mistakes. He knows he's made mistakes. He drank too much. He lost opportunities for athletics that are once in a lifetime.
Right.
But he turned it around, and he was able to pour into so many young athletes and win state championships and just be like an anchor for a lot of kids in this community. So if it meant me losing out for that to happen, I'm good with it. Because you know, like a not ideal childhood has made me pretty resilient and pretty tough, and so I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. What are some character traits or things that you've developed in a positive way because of your childhood?
Yeah, just I had to be pretty. I mean, I didn't get much feedback from anybody like you're doing a good job or you need to do better. So is what I learned is to be pretty independent, and that, you know, I was kind of on my own. So I think that's always, that's a strength, because some people, you know, you get some people by themselves and they're lost or not motivated or lack direction, so they feel they spin their wheels. Where I was just like, I figured out pretty young, because I just realized I'm on my own. This is the way it's going to be. So that has been a big advantage for me in life.
Yeah. What would you have to say to those maybe listening or that support follow you if they're in that spot where they are needing other people's validation and they're, you know, they aren't independent? What's like the next step for them?
Yeah, I mean, what gave me confidence was just working hard. And so I think if you are somebody who, you know, everybody needs approval in some way. I mean, you know, we're humans, it's kind of how it works. But if you can put in work, and I just took the mindset of, I'm going to outwork everybody, and that gave me confidence. So I'd always say, one of my sayings is, if you're not the hardest working person, you know, you're not working hard enough. So if I saw somebody and I'd be like, you know, like say Goggins, I'm like, God, that guy, he is grinding every day. I'm like, I need to do more. So that type of influence can be good, and I just wanted to be that. So it's like, what gave me confidence was just putting in work. And I knew that hard work led to success. And people always say that, yeah, I worked my ass off and I got screwed over. And it's like, maybe, or maybe you didn't work your ass off.
Yeah, or maybe you stopped.
Maybe you sabotaged yourself in some other way. Maybe you're working hard, but you were a cancer in the workplace, which, you know, I led men for many years, and the guys who talk shit and were negatively influencing others, they're not going to get opportunity. I wanted to give opportunity to the guy that every time I said, hey, could you do this? They're there. And it's like that type of stuff. So you can work hard, but be a cancer in the environment, you're not going to get opportunity. So it takes more than working hard, but that is a key part. And I learned that the harder I work, the more positive outcome would happen. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned talking to, you know, those in the workplace, and it kind of reminded me something I was curious about. What do you do when you come across mediocre people? How much time do you spend any time trying to inspire them? Is it up to them? Like, when do you know it's time to stop trying? What do you do, if anything, when you meet them?
Yeah, it's hard because most people are mediocre.
Yeah.
So it's I'm drawn to not those people. I don't want to. I mean, I said earlier, as we were kind of BSing before the show, but I said you can learn from about anybody, and I agree with that.
Right.
But part of learning is you can learn how not to be also.
Right.
And so that's learning. I learned I don't want to be like you. And what I would do is, with mediocre people, I mean, yes, you can try to inspire them. You can try to say why a different approach might be better. But at the end of the day, it's their call, right?
Right.
And what I've done is like I can figure out pretty quickly whether I'm going to connect with this person. If there's hope, like say with Joey Roll, I saw hope. I saw a fire in him, even though there's something in him. I'm like, well, this guy could put in work. He hasn't really yet in regard to conditioning, but he could. So you can figure out pretty quick. And I just move on from people who I feel like I'm not going to waste my time.
Right.
But if I see something there, I'll just pour into them, and I love it. And it gives me strength to see them get stronger. You know, and that's how Jelly Roll's been.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's like kind of like a cheat code is you can grow from others. You can watch others, and then your energy working with somebody like that who have that growth mindset, it helps everybody. So that's what we can do as a society and a community is just lift each other up.
Yeah. I know again, when we were talking a little bit earlier, he had gone, almost half his life living one way. Yeah. And all of us have a past, all of us. But did it seem like he just changed his mind? Did you enter his life when he had already made that decision? What was that kind of point, transformation point?
Right. You're speaking of Jelly Roll. I don't know, because I don't know what his mindset was. I'm sure he knew he was overweight. He didn't like it. It didn't feel good.
Right.
I'm sure he knew that. So I don't know what his internally how he navigated through that. So maybe he wanted to make this change years ago and just couldn't quite get going. Maybe it needed. He talks about a different friend group, and he said he just needed to be around different people.
Right.
And so he changed his friends. One of them on the Rogan podcast the other day, he mentioned me specifically. And so it's just like, you are a reflection of who you're around. I mean, I can see you, but I can see also the people here with you, and you're all, I can tell, all the same type of mindset and approach and perspective on life that I have. And so when you make decisions like that intentionally, then you're going to grow. And some people, you can be intentional. You can ignore red flags. You can be like, yeah, this person is whatever. I'm just going to ignore it. But you know they're either going to bring you down or lift you up. And so that's your choice, whether you want to spend time with that person. But you know in your heart,
right,
how the story ends, kind of.
Was there a specific point where that clicked for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was Joe Rogan kind of. I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't be. You'd think you would have been done learning like years ago, but I've learned a lot late in life. And one of the things I learned from him was growing up in a small town and in the environment that I had to kind of navigate. Everyone is competition. Everyone. If you win, that means you took something from me. I want to win. I want to take everything from you. Because we can't both win. Joe said, dude, he goes, I get it. He goes, but there's enough cake for everyone. Okay. Yeah. You can have cake. They can have cake. It's fine. We can all win. But I was always like, no, I need to have my boot on your neck because I'm going to win.
Right.
And fuck you.
Yeah.
It's just not how it works.
Right.
I mean, it can, but it's not sustainable and it's not long term.
Right.
So once he kind of said that one time years ago, probably 14 or 15 years ago, I was like, okay, that's a big difference than how I looked at other men my whole life. And but since I've changed that mindset at that time, I've been rewarded more abundantly, and then I can. The more I win, the more I can help others and give to others. And the Bible says this, and sometimes you can believe it or not, but the more you give, the more you receive. Right. And it's like, I'm not keeping track of anything. I don't have a tally, but I just know I love to give, and I love to. I've been blessed. I love to maybe share my blessings, and when I do that, I'm rewarded with more. So, I don't know why. I just know that it works, and I learned that pretty late in life. As in my 40s, and So.
Yeah, it's big thanks to our sponsor, Allie Barnes with Northwestern Home Loans. Serving all of Oregon, Allie is a senior mortgage loan officer who creates a mortgage experience that's personal, transparent, and empowering by shopping rates across multiple investors to find the best fit for every client. Thank you to our other sponsor, Centurion Real Estate Management. Centurion has offices in Salem, Eugene, and Corvallis and manages over 2,000 units across the Willamette Valley. They also have a sister company in Bend and Redmond that serves all of Central Oregon, specializing in single-family, multifamily, and commercial management. Centurion is your go-to for all things real estate management. It's very interesting how a lot of times we come across somebody that speaks such an important words or concepts into our life, and then what we do with it is our choice. And I think it's awesome that you really took that to heart and thought about it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So another term that you talk about is nobody cares, work harder. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how that started and what it means?
Yeah, I mean, I think it started mostly with just hearing people's excuses for why they couldn't achieve said goal. And
right.
I would just, and it's at work also a lot, just a regular 9 to 5. It's a lot of people want to blame others for they didn't get the promotion, they didn't get the results they want, they didn't get the opportunity to prove themselves. And so I would always just say, I hear you, but nobody gives a shit. Mm-hmm. You can put in more work. You got to be better. You got to prove yourself. You got to make better decisions. And sometimes it's perspective. Like I would tell the guys too, it's like, we used to have this thing where the crew was supposed to go get warmed up and for 15 minutes stretch out. So no back injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
But you'd look out the window of the office and the guys would be walking around the yard and some of them would be carrying a coffee cup. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, how serious are you about stretching out to avoid injuries when you're just like walking like some old lady with coffee through the mall?
Right.
It's just like, that's not intentional. So I'm like, I want to see intent. The intent for this is we're going to prepare for the day. Mm-hmm. You're getting paid.
Yeah.
So fucking do something. Don't walk around with coffee. And that's just an attitude. And you can say, oh, why are they looking out the window at what we're doing? They're just, want to ride our ass. Or you could say, no, this matters. And everything that matters, I'm going to do to the best of my ability. And what I would tell them is like, everything matters. Mm-hmm. The little things matter. The big things matter. How you walk around the yard matters. How you come back to get parts, and you're like hustling and not screwing around, going and getting in the break room, all day. It's like all that matters, and all that influences how you are perceived by management and your other worker and your coworkers. Mm-hmm. Because management wants somebody who's going to produce and is going to want to always be, have the mindset that we're positive, we're productive. Your coworkers, you can set the standard. And I would tell new guys all the time, like the foreman on my son's crew right now, I remember when he was a new employee, I knew I had high hopes for him, and I knew he had what it took to excel in the construction environment. So I said at his interview, I'm like, can you be a leader from day one? And you can. Mm-hmm. You don't have any authority, but you can set the example, and you can put pressure on people to be like, God dang, this kid's working his ass off. Mm-hmm. I better step up.
Right.
Or this next opportunity that comes up, I might get passed by. So you can be a leader, because there's people with titles who are supposed leaders who aren't leaders. Mm-hmm. And then there's guys who like everybody goes to. Like if there's a problem, they're like, what do you think? That's the leader. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if you've been there one day or 20 years. Mm-hmm. Are you the guy with the solution? Are you the guy that can make shit happen? Then you're leading the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's that goes to show that even the smallest of things, like you've talked about, even those little tiny things, when nobody's looking, those matter.
Everything.
And when they feel like they don't matter, I think that's where a lot of people, myself included, can dismiss it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, so the nobody cares, work harder is just kind of like just a mindset thing. Yeah. Like it's mostly just to say excuses, successes, whatever's happened in the past doesn't matter. What matters is what are you doing right now?
Right.
Are you working? Are you making good decisions right now? So that's the whole premise to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any, with keep hammering, nobody cares, work harder. Are there things that people like misconceptions that people have about you, and what do you have to reply to that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm toxic for sure. Toxic and toxic masculinity, I think, is a thing these days. And, I'm good with that because I think men need to be leaders. I think we need to make tough decisions. I think we need to protect and to provide. I think men and women have different roles, and we are different. And women are beautiful and motherly and productive and tough and supportive and strong. And men have a different role to fill. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to work. And it only works as designed when we're both in our roles doing what was intended as far as a man and a woman raising a family. It's what I've learned is, from mostly these endurance races, our women are tougher than men. I mean, the mental strength women have, I think it's because, women are designed for child rearing and childbirth, and it's very painful and it's hard. And it's like, I can't imagine what it'd be like. And so women can just push, from what I've seen, harder than men. Yes, men they might be stronger, they might be faster in certain circumstances, but women are so amazing. And so I like to celebrate that. And I also celebrate that the role of a man. And I just think that like people, they might see or hear that and think that, oh, that's an outdated approach. You're, some bow hunting redneck dipshit, and they're right. But I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care if that offends you. I don't care if saying nobody cares, work harder. It's like you're not getting validated, and like you should validate people for their whatever. It's like, I don't care about any of that. It's just like, I'm judged on what I'm doing now. I'm judged on how I lead my family. I'm judged on my actions, and so are you. And I'm not going to go easier on you.
Right.
I'm going to say, nobody gives a shit about all these excuses you have. Nobody cares. I want to see results. And I like holding people accountable. I want to be held accountable.
Yeah.
If I screw up, like if my team screws up or whatever, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
If the guys at work screwed up, something happened, that was my fault. And I think that I think society is we don't want to hold people accountable. We want to make excuses for people. We want to be more accepting or inclusive or all this bullshit. I'm like, cool. No, somebody still has to do the work. And people will say that, oh, these men are toxic and masculine or whatever. It's like, yeah, those are the guys building the fucking roads. Those are the guys that you call in the middle of the night when your power's out. Those are the people that you send to war, that are dying in war. So yeah, that's just, you can focus on the negative part of it, but how about society and the roles and what these guys do? So people might say that, or might judge me harshly for either that mindset or how I talk, and I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Who holds you accountable? Do you you're a high achiever, but I know you've expressed that like you still have so far to go, which, but who do you choose who holds you accountable? Who are those people?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, I hold myself
kind of
accountable.
yourself.
Yeah. I know when I'm doing right or wrong.
Yeah.
I know when I'd go out, say there'd always be a SHOT Show in Vegas every year. I'd go there and drink and be an idiot. I knew that was me. I knew that that's not how I'm supposed to be living, right? That's not being a leader. That's being a fuck up. So I don't need anybody to tell me that. I know that.
Yeah.
So I hold myself accountable. I try to do, we go to church and I pray, God, please just help me be the man I'm supposed to be. Right. Because I know the difference. Right. I know when I'm not. And so yeah, nobody really calls me out because they don't need to.
You do it. You do it for you. Do you think everybody should be that way, or just depends on the person?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, but people are always giving themselves slack.
Right.
You know? So yeah, it'd be nice if everybody could do that. That's not really how we work as a species. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I don't know. I've just made so many mistakes where I feel like I try to hold my kids accountable, right? And even by me giving my perspective to them or guidance to them, it makes me think about it too. Because I can't tell them you should do this when I'm not. You know,
Right.
like this is like a
Yeah.
idiom from like growing up and like do as I say, not as I do type thing. And that's just the way it goes. But my boys are men now. And so I still do give them advice and things like that, but it's also giving myself advice at the same time in some ways.
Right.
If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. You've talked a little, written, and talked a little bit about raising your kids, and there are definitely listeners, and I'm one of them, that have little kids. So raising your kids with the high achieving lifestyle that you have and just human that you are, is there anything you would do different, and what would you keep if you were to do it over again?
Oh man. Yeah, I did not know what I was doing I mean, I'm glad we had kids young.
The rest of us don't either. So
yeah, I'm glad we had kids young because I can still do cool stuff with my kids, you know, because I'm old, but not like I didn't have kids when I was 40 type thing.
Yeah.
But the negative part of that is I didn't know anything about raising, you know, boys for sure. But luckily I had boys first because I really don't know anything about girls. So thank God for my daughter's mom. But yeah, I was really hard on the boys. I think it was twofold. It was, I knew how hard life was. I thought if I didn't make them tough, they'd just get run over. Because as I said, I looked at everyone as competition and everybody's trying to take stuff from me. And so I thought that I needed to prepare them for that also.
Right. Yes.
And then I was like also probably flawed in my thinking in this, but since I was kind of miserable as a kid without my dad was around, I hated my stepdad, everybody's drinking, lots of stuff like that going on.
Yeah.
And so I thought that, well, I had a miserable childhood, but look, it made me tough. So if my kids don't, they have everything. And I'd be like, you guys have whatever you want. You got your mom, you know, we love you. You're here, buy everything from you. So I better make their life tough,
Yes.
you know, in other ways, like introduce challenge. So I would make them, you know, run the mountain all the time. I'd make, you know, they did half marathons when they were 7. They, you know, took them to Alaska hunting very young and just put them in really hard situations for young boys. And I think I was too hard on them, definitely too hard. And I have regrets about that because kids don't, a 7-year-old doesn't want to run 13 miles. I mean,
Yeah.
But I made them. So,
I mean, it came from a place of, you know, you wanted them to, it sounds like, to correct me if I'm wrong, you had struggles growing up, but it made you stronger, and a lot of the way you handled it made you who you are, and a lot. And so it sounds like you, with love and good intention, wanted them to experience that, both in safety of you being there for them.
I mean,
Maybe.
I think I wasn't that smart to put it that way or think about it that way.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was 20-some years old, and I was just like, no. Every parent thinks, oh, my kid is going to be a badass. My daughter's going to be a whatever.
Right.
What everybody's going to be the most successful in the world, right?
Yeah.
So everybody thinks that. And I was like, okay, I got to make my kids this or that. And so it caused, you know, my wife thought I'd pushed them too hard, and she was right. So that caused issues. And then even later in life, you know, like Truett was a great runner, but because I made him run, he hated it. And I would tell him, I'm like, hey, you know, if you keep working hard, you can run in college. He's like, I'm not running for 4 more years. I mean, he hated it, right?
Yeah.
And now that's what he does for his job. He's like, I mean, he is an amazing runner, but that was so frustrating for me because I could see he had that, and he was just like, no, I hate running because you're making me do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could be great at this shit. What are you doing?
Right.
You're trying to do all this other stuff. That's not, running is your thing, your gift.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty hard. And then also I just would say things wrong, or like we'd go to the movies and we'd be standing there and I could see we're in line for snacks too, but every person's overweight or just looks, not capable of anything. And I'd be like, I tell the boys, I said, look at this. I said, see all these people? I said, that's average. I said, that's failing. I said, that average is failing. This is not who we're going to be like. And overweight, whatever. I said, we're going to, the goal was whatever. And so then where I really regretted that was not then, but down the road, where my oldest had a good job here working in, as a deputy. And, he wanted to quit to join the Army to be a Ranger because he told me, he's like, I have more to offer this world. And so then I was just like, God, was that me saying this shit about you can't be average? Because he had a great job, making good money, an important job for the community.
Yep.
But was it like me, my weird parenting, telling him that average is failing? That's now going to make him sign up to be a Ranger. What if he got deployed and got killed overseas because of some shit I said in the movie line?
That's heavy.
And so I was like, what have I done? What have I done to these kids? And that was hard. That was really hard. And he told me that, he gave me an out and just said, no, it's not you. He goes, I want more. I want to do more. I want to fight for my country or something like that. And it was just, he can say that, which was nice to let me off the hook, but still I knew how I'd raised them and what I'd said and how that might affect them later in life. And thank God he did his deployments. He came home. Everything's fine. But I did, at that time, I told him, I said, there's nothing wrong with, we need people who just go to work and do important jobs. Like right now, he's construction where I worked. That's an important job I just talked about.
Yes.
Somebody has to build the roads, put the water lines in, build the power lines. Somebody has to do that. That's important work. Yes, it doesn't get celebrated like some of these other things, but it's probably more important. And so just explaining that I was wrong on that part, and you can be contribute to the community, you can make a difference, you can impact others with, quote, a regular job, right?
Right.
And there's ways to still just make people better in that role. And that's okay. And that's winning too. And I was wrong with that. So I wish I could go back and fix that. But I'm grateful that my kids don't hate me. And, cause there's times where it wasn't looking good and we're very close now.
That's a child parent relationship. I mean,
tough.
We've all been on one end or the other, both. Yeah.
So long answer. But.
Yeah. So or actually before I ask the next question, looking back, what would you keep?
What would I keep?
With raising him?
Holding them accountable for sure. They could never make an excuse for anything. I didn't care about, kind of from my work setting to home is like, there's no excuses. We don't make excuses for anything. And I remember one time Truett, he came home, supposed to be at track, which, as I said, he hated, but he was at home watching TV or something. And I'm like, why are you home? I got home from work. He's like, oh, I wasn't feeling good. I'm like, you look fine. He's just like, I said, okay. I said, get your shit. We're gonna go to Pisgah. So I made him run 10 miles in the rain that day. He never missed another practice. So it's like, but there's also a negative, because one time Tanner had strep throat, my oldest, and I made him play in a basketball game, and he did terrible, obviously. And so then my wife took him to the doctor. He had strep throat, and I'm just like, I thought he was fine.
It's hard when they're
not.
kids sometimes.
Oops.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've screwed up a lot too.
Yeah. I've been there too, where I've made them go to school and then they were actually legitimately sick. You can't tell, okay?
I know.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure this is probably one of your most asked questions, but I did want to ask you because I am genuinely curious. I mean, every day you do every day. Do you run, shoot, lift, run, shoot?
Yeah.
Every day. What about when you have strep throat?
I don't get strep throat. That was my son. I don't get sick.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't been sick in years.
Okay.
So,
So
no,
why do you think?
But anyway, I have had a broken foot and I never missed a day.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I don't miss days
Yeah.
ever.
Okay. And do you still?
Sorry, you ran on a broken foot.
Yeah.
Okay, can you ask him that? Sorry.
Yeah.
You want me to ask him that? Okay. So you actually ran with a broken foot.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, I was doing a movie role down in Auburn, California, which is where the Western States 100 is, which is a famous 100-mile race. And so in between, like when we'd be shooting, because I think we'd shoot mostly at night is what it was. But I was playing Sheriff Browning, so I was a sheriff
Okay.
in the movie.
All right.
But
We gotta look this up.
yeah, so I would run on the Western States Trail, which was kind of rocky, and I'd take. One day I was just wearing my road shoes, which road running shoes are narrower than a trail shoe, and so it's a little more tippy. Anyway, I stepped on a rock, rolled my foot, and I heard it snap, and I was just like, you know how you can roll your ankle and then you're like kind of hobble for a little bit, then like in 100 yards you kind of feel it, but then you're like, okay, it's loosened up again, but whatever. But this one was not doing that, and I heard the audible snap, so I got down to it's like the No Hands Bridge down there. It goes over the American River, kind of iconic bridge. But I got down there, I took off my shoe, and it was like freaking nasty. Dude. It was like already huge and sticking out. And
Oh no.
so I had this 10K race over here at Pisgah that I had sold, like, I don't know, I think 30 people paid like, I don't know, $5,000 to come train with me, right?
Yeah.
So I broke it on 16th. On the 22nd, I had all these people coming in. And I'm like, well, I got to do this 10K. So I'm like, okay, nobody cares to work harder.
Yeah.
So I ran that race.
Oh my god.
My brother, who's a really good runner, beat me by a minute, and I
Oh my
totally fucked up my foot again in that race. But then it was like, so then I got an X-ray. Yeah, it's broke. Pretty significant break. So then the doctor over there, Dr. Jackson at Slocum, he goes, we should put a plate in there, just put the screws, but then you have to have another surgery to get the plate out type thing. And I'm like, I wasn't really into doing all that. So I just kept trying to push it. And I was able to get races done. I did, Cocodona on it, which was 256 miles. I did Leadville. I did a lot of these races, and now it's finally started to heal. So yeah, it did mend, but it was called a Jones fracture, so not fifth metatarsal, but just breaks that outside of your foot or your bone on the outside of your foot. And so it was I could just see that it wasn't going to be like debilitating forever. Like bone wasn't going to stick out of my foot. It didn't look like. So then it was just a matter of pain.
Yeah.
And I always just thought, like, back in whenever, you can say when, I don't know how far back in history you want to go.
Right.
If a man broke his foot, you just keep going.
Right.
And so I'm like,
because you have to survive.
yeah, just like there is no PTO. There's no like medical leave bullshit. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to see what my body will adapt to. And
Right.
It's healed.
That's very countercultural now
Yeah.
that you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the broken foot story.
Oh my
But
gosh.
It was a little better now.
Wait, okay, but you don't get sick because
No.
of your lifestyle, you think?
I don't drink or smoke. I eat pretty clean. I don't take poisonous vaccines. So I don't know.
Same.
I just I haven't been sick in years.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just don't get sick.
So do you experience what other people would call burnout?
I don't know. I don't put energy into that.
You just work harder.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how I feel. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what happened the night before. There's nothing that matters.
Right.
There's nothing that matters. It's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I don't care what happens
What?
or what has happened before or I don't care.
Yeah. If your foot's broken, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It has no bearing. I mean,
Yeah.
what I always say is like, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Today's today.
Right.
Yesterday has nothing to do with today.
What goes through your mind when you hear, you know, self-care, take your time off, take your vacations, like take a break from the grind? What goes through your mind when you hear things like that?
Pussy.
Yeah.
I
I'm going to call
don't-
under this table now. No, just kidding.
No.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to cut that part out. But
Don't cut it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've went so far that way that it's impacted society in some ways, and it's making us weaker, you know. And so, yeah, I don't give any energy into that. It's like one thing when I was a superintendent over at work, definitely the guys hated calling in sick because I worked there 26 years. I didn't call in sick one day, and everybody knew that because I would remind them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
That's
that's
on them,
yeah,
I
that's
guess.
cool. I mean, I get it. I said, but you know how many times I called in sick in 26 years? I'd tell them, everybody. Then the guys would be like, oh God, here we go again. So yeah, I don't know. There's no excuse that works for me.
Yeah. Do you think that everybody should be like you, or do you think there's a place in this world for the yous and those that do call in sick and take vacations? It's probably difficult for you to wrap your mind around because you don't know any other way than you are.
Yeah, I mean, I know not everybody's gonna be like me. So and I'm not saying like I'm at some high level. I'm just like, I'm screwed up in different ways than other people. So
Right.
they're not gonna be screwed up like me. And so they're gonna have a different mindset. Maybe they're healthier. Maybe their kids never hated them. Maybe they're like always loved their kids and didn't push them, and it was fine. And maybe they pushed them in other ways. So like one thing that another mistake I made was it's all physical for me, right? So it was just about competition, being strong, beating people. In school was, I mean, yeah, like, hey, don't get Fs and shit like that. But
Right.
I was always focused on the best we can be physically and prepare for, you know, whatever life's going to throw at us. Then with my daughter, she was really good at gymnastics, really good at pole vault, but that was kind of like a phase when she was younger. And then she's really good at school. So then I had to figure out a way to push outside. Like my thing wasn't like intelligence really. It was, you know, performing.
Right.
And so then I had to be like, okay, I got to switch it up with my daughter because she's like super gifted, very intelligent. And so that was like different for me.
That's hard to do.
And but the thing is, like, for her, I didn't have to push her. She already pushed herself too much. So if I would like obsessive about stuff. So because I've been obsessive also, so maybe that bled into her, and it just, instead of physical, it was grades. And so if I would push somebody who's already obsessive, that can be a negative. So I had to
Got it.
be aware and just learn different personalities and just try to grow in that way. And that's been hard. Like I said, I'm not great at girls or women. I'm good at leading men and doing that, but I'm trying to get better.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Always self-improving.
Trying to. I mean, it's like, it's kind of cliche, but that's always the goal. Yeah, we don't want to stay the same.
Yeah. Well, I have a few questions about bow hunting too, but if you could just kind of talk about your journey leading up to the first hunt that you had.
Okay, so the first hunt is like, I hated my stepdad, and so I think I was always moving back and forth between my dad and my mom, and so I think she probably said, you need to do something with the boys, because whatever. I would just say I hated
Yeah.
him and would never talk to him. So
Yeah.
he's like, okay, I'm going to take you guys hunting. So it's like, okay, cool.
And this is your stepdad.
Stepdad.
Okay.
So we went hunting, and it wasn't like, I don't know how many times we went hunting, a few times, but mostly once I figured out what it was about, then I would just go by myself. And because I still didn't want to hang out, but I'm very thankful that he introduced me to hunting, because
Right.
without him, who knows what I'd be, right? And so he introduced me to hunting, and it was kind of like an olive branch type thing, I think. My mom probably tried to get him to do, and it's great. It was we went to a big deer camp over in kind of on the edge of the Eagle Cap Wilderness with his whole family and my uncles on that side and all that, and it's like we felt like we were part of the club, right? And
Yeah.
I killed a buck over there. I was 15. That was my first hunting experience, and I got a buck, and I felt like
Wow.
I got like finally got some attention for something. Like, normally I'd get it, if I didn't take out the chicken scraps, or if I didn't stack
Right.
the wood right, the wood would get tipped back over, or I had to dig a hole for the wash machine drain. So it's like, dig a hole right here, 6 by 6 by 6. And I was like, God. So is it for a kid with a shovel digging a 6 by 6 by 6 hole? That sucks, right? So
Yes.
that was usually the feedback I got.
Uh-huh.
So instead of that, it was like, oh, you killed a buck, good job.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, I can get positive from hunting. And so that kind of led to like, maybe I want to do this more. And I was actually pretty good at it at that time. So then my buddy got me into bow hunting, my buddy Roy, who's like, this is for him right here. He died in 2015, but he got me started bow hunting. And this like image shows like he's walking in the reflection of the lake. He's walking with me, but he's gone here on Earth.
beautiful.
But we started bow hunting together, and then that changed. I was like really good at that, and I kept getting this like kind of this positive feedback from success I would have there. And then I always wanted to be a writer, even though I had no credentials, no reason to think I could. So it was just like, oh, maybe I could write about hunting. And then that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. I remember the story of you talking about you had to try a couple times to be a writer until your first article.
I got rejected a lot.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool story. But
yeah, it was, and then it was never making any money or whatever. Then normally when you're starting a new, like if you're excited about something, and maybe real estate's like this too, but I would get $25 for an article I wrote. And then that would justify me spending thousands on something else, because I'm like, oh, I got paid for this. It's like, yeah, you got paid $25, but
did
you
you
spent $3,000 on this hunt.
Right,
So it's like,
That-
do you understand business?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you have to invest in yourself before you see that the return.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn that. But
yeah,
it's
that
all right.
does happen to me at the mall. It was on sale, so I got 5 of them.
Yeah, right.
You
See?
only needed one.
I know, but you say, look at all the money you saved on those other 4
Exactly.
that you didn't need.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you share many stories which impact your everything else in your life. There's a lesson to be learned in actually many of the stories of your kills. But what would you say is, when you look back, your favorite story so far of a kill?
Well, the most meaningful, I got 2, and it was just because it's with Roy. But one of them, the ram's over in my house right there. But it's like a ram, like, see that picture right by the door?
Yes.
So that's Roy with a big, that's a doll sheep. I killed a doll up there with him in 2008. And
That's huge.
it's a hard hunt. It's very rugged. And that country is very dangerous. So where I killed the ram in 2008, which is in the house, that mount, I have a picture of me and Roy there, and the mount's there. And that was an epic hunt. But why it's significant is we're together, and it's also the same country that he fell and died in. So it's like that country's so unforgiving, and we had a great hunt, and it was sketchy on when I killed. But that was what we did. We know the mountains are unforgiving. We know they're very dangerous, but we hunted there. That's what we did. And So in 2015, he was up there doing that same hunt, and he, one wrong step and he fell and, died. But right before that, 2 weeks before that was that moose hunt that I did. And so that was our last hunt together, and it was just epic. It's a film called The Tribute, and it's about that hunt, but it was after Roy had passed. And so that one will always be, it was our last hunt, and he's got me started in bow hunting. Nobody would know who I was if it wasn't for bow hunting. Who knows? I don't even know what my life would be like. But Roy introduced me. That was our last one. So that's always going to be special. What's your goal with the podcast?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, my mission statement for my life is to live a fulfilled life by having a positive difference in the world and leaving a legacy to my family and my children. And so what that means is living a fulfilled life is recognizing the accomplishments that I want to have and actually accomplishing them. And I know what it means to be fulfilled. And so I work towards that every day. But also making a difference in the world, like leaving it better than I found it. And so
what fulfills you every day?
What fulfills me every day is by growing, by shedding a little bit more of the, the negative, the bad habits, the toxic behavior, the things that I learned that I need to unlearn. And being open to, when I meet somebody, like allowing, if there's any kind of a connection or something that they have to teach me, or they take just a moment to speak something into my life, taking that very seriously and just seeing where that door leads. So, so just maximizing every day.
Okay.
And so this podcast, and when Jesse, it's his podcast, he's very important in my life. And when he actually asked me to host you might not like this. He asked me to host a Girl Boss podcast.
Oh,
and I was like,
that's
hell no. He's like, I have a vision though. It'll be pink. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, but if you want just a business podcast, let me know.
Yeah.
And he thought about it for a few days, and then he said, okay, like, that's who you are authentically, then there you go.
Yeah.
And so this podcast allows me to learn. I mean, I just feel really lucky because those that are listening are learning too. But selfishly, I'm soaking it in. I'll ride this wave as long as he lets me, because I learn so much every time. It doesn't matter if it's a house cleaner that started their own business, or somebody like you. I learn a lot. And
that's great.
So that is my personal, I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
But also it's a business podcast. So business owners and entrepreneurs it's very difficult to run a small business, small to mid-size, and it's a very high failure rate. And so that's why it's called Dirt to Sky, because it is after the story of the Wright brothers, who were underdogs in developing the airplane, but because they worked hard, they were able to develop the airplane before the guy who had federal backing. And so there's always going to be somebody, a company, a chain that's bigger and better. So it's like, how do we use something from each guest to implement into our life or our strategies every day? So our businesses can make it.
Yeah.
And so that's the purpose of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so is it, so the goal with real estate is sell.
Yes.
How are you getting better at selling?
I get better by a few things. One, I try to be around people that sell. There's so many agents that sell so much more than me. There's so much, I guess, better than me.
Yeah.
So if I want to sell more, I need to be around them.
Right.
And then also, I need to do that for those that I was just there. So it's like also passing it on.
Yeah.
Yes. That's like my responsibility. I think that it's my responsibility to handle, to look inside at the things that I do wrong, also mental health and things like that. I need to learn how to make those things my superpower, and that has helped me a lot. Things that other people might think is negative, it's like turn that into positive.
Like, what's an example?
So mine is, I've never said it on here, but I have bipolar 2.
Okay.
And what that means is about 1 week a month, I have a lot of energy. And then I have a week that's a little tougher to get out of bed. And then the other 2 are fairly stable. What that means is I recognize my week where I have more energy and I get a lot done purposely. I schedule a lot. I get more done by 10 a.m. than maybe the average person would by the end of 8 hours. So I take advantage of it. I use it like a superpower. And then
do you have to adjust that day? Can you tell that day, or do you know, like, or is it like a schedule?
I've learned,
like, this is my shitty week.
I've learned the pattern.
It's coming up in 2 weeks,
Yes.
so I better be ready.
Yes.
Okay.
So on those weeks, I might schedule more family time.
Okay.
I might, I have an accountability buddy that makes me at least go out and walk and get physical movement in, even though I don't naturally want to. So I've set myself up for success with people that will know me and push me out. And then, so I use it in a positive way instead of,
that's a great
for
example.
me. And I think that everybody has their own issues and they should take responsibility for them and to take care of themselves in whatever way that is and turn it into something positive. And if they can't, they need to get somewhere else in their life that they can.
Yeah.
So
it feels like you have to acknowledge first instead of ignore,
Right.
or instead of self-medicate, or instead of, so it's just like being aware of, you have this thing you have to deal with, how best to do it.
Right.
And instead of masking or hiding it or whatever. So I think that's a great lesson for people.
Yeah.
I mean, your approach that will help people.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you do it. Because as you said, we all have issues, right? And
Is there something that you have found that others might look at themselves and call it a weakness that you've turned into your strength?
Yeah, I mean, I drank too much. I made poor decisions, and instead of just accepting that, because a lot of people do, like where I grew up, again, it'd be like you'd have beers after work, and then on the weekend you get a couple good buzzes, and then you go back to the job you hated.
Yeah.
It's like, so just knowing that when I drink, it's hard to grow, right? It's hard to accept, like, oh, we're just going to go out with the guys and whatever. And basically that's a lost day. I mean, there's nothing positive happening, right?
Yeah.
You can pretend
you
like
down.
this is so fun. It's like, let's go out. It's going to be fun. And then if you don't go the next day, you're like, so what'd you guys do? Nothing. Same old shit. So it's like you're not missing anything, but just acknowledging that, okay, this doesn't lead to anywhere good. So that can be a superpower, because you know that I'm not even wasting time with that. I'm wasting time on getting better.
Right.
And what I learned is, like, in my life, I started focusing on the things that only made me better and eliminating the things that didn't. And drinking was one of them. Eating like shit was another one. Just being aware of that. And then all my energy is on the positive, then sky's the limit, to the dirt to the sky reference.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We've talked about, the culture now, and there's so much talk about the anxiety, depression, mental health, some of the things that I had mentioned, and society is also, kids and adults taking mental health days. And, what are your thoughts on that? And, making it so that, people don't break their promise to themselves. Like, how would you give advice to somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I understand how momentum can work in people's lives, where you get used to letting yourself down, and that kind of becomes its own thing. And you're just like, this is me. This is what I do. I just screw up. Yeah. And I can relate to this, because when I was a small town guy, like when I would screw up, crash a truck because I was drunk, people would be just like, yep, figures. That's what he does. And but that can change anytime, any day. You can, whatever screw ups you've made in the past, even no matter how long it's been, you can just say, I'm done. I'm done. Moving forward, I'm done with this. And there's things that, people do have real issues that they do have to maybe talk to, a professional about, and,
Yep.
or even get medicated. And that's fine. But in general, we're sabotaging ourselves with this past behavior. We say that's who we are. We tell this ourselves a story that might not be true, but and just in that same way, you can tell yourself a new story. Say, that's who I was. Yes, I acknowledge that. That's not who I am moving forward.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that.
Did you have a moment? Was that like a moment for you when you gave up, the drinking, those things that you talked about? Was there a moment, or was it more of a process?
I wish there was a moment, but normally it's like, I'm never drinking again. And
Yeah.
then the next weekend,
Right.
you're doing the same shit. But no, it took a lot of just screwing up over and over. And then
Yeah.
finally, I'm like, okay, what am I doing?
Right.
And yeah, it's just, and I said this one time on Rogan's podcast, but there's a big difference between being a loser when you're on your own, being a screw up, and being a loser dad. So once I had kids, I'm like, I'm not just affecting me anymore.
Right.
I'm affecting lives,
Right.
futures. I just, so when are you going to grow up? When are you going to take accountability and say, okay,
Yeah.
moving forward, here's what this is me now. And it can be positive. It can be a change. It can be, whatever, but it can happen with one decision. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to screw up. It doesn't mean that there's never going to be a hard time, or you have to call yourself out, or it's going to be a challenging day where all your buddies are going out and it sounds like fun and you want to go out and you want to do it. But you know what it leads to. It's going to be hard to say no. Right.
Yeah.
Or you get out and you screw up again and you're just like, fuck, I did it again. It's just, then you're dealing with that guilt, and, then you beat yourself up forever. I understand. I've done it all.
Yeah.
I've done it all. But it can change. It can change with one decision. And so that's what I would say. You have so much power if you just take the reins and just say, moving forward, I'm going to be a better person. And it's that's as simple as it gets.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. I mean, it's easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah. Does it get easier over time?
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so yeah, you said, is there any days or when you don't feel like whatever? It's like, no, I mean, now it's just like, I know I'm running. I know I'm doing everything I do every day because this is what I do. It's just as natural as putting on my shoes in the morning. I'm going to do lift, run, shoot. I'm going to, try to impact people in a positive way, to reference what you said. I have the same goal.
Yep.
It's like, let's leave this place better than we found it. And that's just who I am. So yeah, I'm never distracted now.
Yeah.
Fear. Let's see. It's just in my head. Just fear, like when my dad was I think when somebody's gonna die, you wonder what it's gonna be like without them. And that can be overwhelming sometimes. Not, the deaths by surprise, or it's like you're not really ready for, but the slow cancer type things, you see the writing on the wall, and it hurts to think what that's going to be like when it happens, and
Right.
and so you're fearful of that. I think I've been fearful of how others are going to be impacted by that, and how can I make it? You can't really make it better. So it's like, I don't even know. I mean, I don't fear too much. Like, I don't fear on the hunt, like a grizzly. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of any like on being on a cliff. I'm not. I don't fear other men. I fear kind of like the unknown, I guess, as far as like life and death, and real consequence of that person's gone forever. That's scary. And it's like, it's like even like healthy people, like it sounds weird to think about, like, but you see these stories about like a son or a daughter died, and then then you think like, God, what if one of my kids died? And you just like that fears. But it's what they say, like, 80% of what we worry about never happens. So it's kind of that thing.
Yes, yeah.
But like if I have a fear, it's just that, or just like death, it feels like, because it's just, we ignore it for most of our life, and we act like it's never going to happen, but it's happening every day all around us.
Right.
And it's going to very much impact us directly. And so that can be unsettling for me.
Do you think that that's a fear that we as humans are meant to have?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, all I've done is I've turned that into now, again, I've just said, okay, I have a fear for this, but how can I, so now when somebody close to me dies, or when that's ever happened, I've always been the one who speaks at the funeral, who I'm like, I need to be here for other people. I need to, yes, I'm impacted and I'm sad, but I don't have time for that, because I need to be strong for people. So I've turned that, yes, as I just acknowledged, it's a fear of mine, but I can't also be the weak one. If everybody's weak, then who the fuck's helping anybody?
Yeah.
So I'm always been like, okay, it's on me. In this situation, I'm always going to be the one people can count on. And so I've just turned that into, it's a conscious thing. And it's just what I do.
With all that we've talked about, I mean, probably it sounds like you do think about the time whenever it's your time, and how other people are going to be impacted by that, and your kids. And so, leaving the things about you that you've worked so hard for and to build, the importance of leaving that to your family and to the world, so it can be carried on, and not leave just with you. But one of those stories that we kind of touched on at the beginning is your mentorship of Jelly Roll, who just recently went on Joe Rogan's podcast and talked about you. And so something that I've thought about is, what did you see in him that made you realize he's not like the rest that are all just lip service? Like, how did you know that you wanted to mentor him through that?
So here's what I do. I talk to people. I spend time around a lot of different people nowadays.
Yeah. Okay.
And as we know, bow hunting's changed my life. So I'm like, you always want to share. I think people, just humans in general, want to share what they care about, right? And you want other people to care about what you care about.
Yes.
So I'm always like, dude, we should go bow hunting. Shooting a bow, it's so therapeutic. It's this and that. It's like all these positives. And everybody's like, yeah, oh, that sounds awesome. Just what you do. You're at, it's like, it's like pillow talk.
Yeah.
So
you want to like it.
and it's like people just say stuff when they meet people, and they're like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so everybody says they're going to do it. But Jelly Roll, he had a lot to overcome. But I don't know if, I remember the first video I saw of him, and it's like, it's hard to judge people on a production, but it was when COVID was happening, and he had Save Me come out. It was just like a cool videos in the bars. He's super overweight, of course, but he's singing, and like, you could tell, like, to me, it looked like his eyes told a story. I mean, he looked like, I could see pain in his eyes. Yeah. And I'm like, this fucking guy is real, right? I can see this guy has been through a lot, and I can see it.
Right.
And like that touches people, right? So I had never met him at that time. This is like in 2020, I think.
Yeah.
And so then it was years later when I met him, and same thing. I saw him at a show. I think he was like saying, "Oh, could you come to one of my shows?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it was at the Opry. So I flew back there and went to the Opry, and Nelly was there with him. It was kind of a fun night. But the thing is like, I could see, and we talked, and kind of that was like, I guess, the beginning of our friendship. But he had read my book before that.
Okay, yeah. So he knew about you.
He knew the story, yeah. And so, as I said, I tell a lot of people, hey, we should go bow hunting, or we should at least shoot bows. And everybody says yes. And then generally nothing ever happens.
Really?
Yeah, nothing ever happens. It just doesn't happen. But because I think a lot of guys like the idea of being hunters. They see it. It's kind of celebrated now a little bit. Like, there's some people who, still shit on it. But a lot of people see that, oh, that's something I don't know anything about it. I'm missing. And seems empowering to be able to provide for my family,
Right.
myself, right? To be self-sufficient. And so everybody has that like, oh, that would be kind of cool. But then to actually do it is
Kind of romanticized.
it's a romanticized, but it takes intention, right? It's like I said, it's like you have to be serious about this. So I mentioned it to Jelly Roll. I mentioned it to millions of different people, but a few select people, Rogan, I took him on his first bow hunt in 2014, and now it's changed his life. Wow. So there's certain people who you mention it to, and then it actually, there's follow-up, right? Well, Jelly Roll was one of those. So then he's like, okay, I'm coming to Portland. Could I come down and do Pisgah with you? And I'm like, yeah, let's shoot a bow too. So we went to the bow rack, shot a bow, and I was like, oh, dang, you're good, dude. I said, he's a good shot, right?
Had he ever done it before?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No, he was a good shot, but you can tell right away, like, yeah, I mean, I've had people where I'm like, this is going to be a process. But with Joey Roll, it's like he looked good, right? Because he's also very strong from packing 500 pounds every day. Right. Every step of the day every day of his life. That makes you very durable, right? If you can get rid of that weight. So I could see he was strong. He could hold that bow up there steady, and he could shoot with confidence. And I'm like, wow, okay. So then it kind of evolves. So yeah, I mentioned it to a lot of people. A small percentage follow up, a smaller percentage actually show up for a hunt. You know, I mean, I think in this one we talked about Jelly was going to go with it, Post Malone and Cody Johnson maybe join us. And I'm like, if any of them actually show up, it's going to be a win. They're very busy. They're superstars. So Jelly showed up. Wow. Killed a buck. Oh my God. Flew and did Rogan's podcast. Flew back. Oh, got inducted into Grand Ole Opry on Rogan's podcast. That. Yeah. Yes. I guess he didn't kill a buck before that, but flew back and killed a buck. So it's like he did it, right? He's a man of his word and intention. It's like he follows through, and I don't know. So I don't know how to tell the difference between people like that, because everybody says the right things, but you
just gotta watch and see.
But I think to go back to the first part of that question is he looks like somebody who, if I look, you know, they say, I think what was this? God, was it? Al Pacino, but The Eyes Never Lie, Chico. What movie's out from? What is that? Godfather or no? Scarface. Yeah. The Eyes Never Lie, Chico. Yes. So it's like I can look at somebody's eyes and I can see. It feels like I can see. I can just.
You have discernment about them.
Yeah, it feels like I can just. I don't know, just get a feeling about them. Yeah. Right. Just from the eyes never lie, right? And I could see from that video, just on that, I'm like, God, this guy seems so real. Yeah. And then I'm also like attracted to pain. People who have been through pain. To me, there's layers to them. You know, I don't want to take anything away from people who've had a great childhood and great parents, and that's great. It's like, it's awesome. But people who have been through a lot, that's the people who I'm like, okay, I feel connected to. Right. And I saw that, I felt like I saw that with him. And it's true, because now I've met him, and now I know we have this connection, and it's special. So I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. But it's just a feeling.
I love that. Yeah. So you both came from pain, and now you run towards pain in a different way. Yeah. I know.
Embrace it.
You've talked. Yeah. Yeah. So, what kind of pain do you run towards? Physical, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because I think I have Chris Williamson on here, who's like an intellectual, which is the opposite of me. But he said that there's pain which you can't control, that just happens, and then there's pain that you're in charge of, right? And so, if, in his opinion, the more you introduce pain and overcome it and deal with it, the more apt you are to be prepared when it happens, when we're not
when
ready.
It happens to you.
You know, like with the death in the family type thing, or sickness or things like that. Yeah. So you prepare. To me, I just think that the only growth I've ever had in life really has been going towards challenge and pain, and that's where I can really evolve. And I just feel like, you know, that's how we reach our highest level, or we can ascend to our highest level, is there's many different ways, I think, but
Right.
like raising kids, I think, gives us a sacrifice and like a different perspective on what it means to live for somebody else. Embracing pain and learning from pain is another way to, and so all this combination, learning from people, being inspired by other people, all those allow us to just like reach another level. So I do all this because I'm trying to live my best life, my best fulfilled, highest achieving, most pure life I can. And all those things I think help me. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me.
When you were alongside Jelly Roll and mentoring him and, alongside him throughout his health journey. And of course you mentioned he was over 500. Now we know he's under 3, which is amazing, and props to him. Like that's some hard work that he's been transparent about online, which is, inspiring. But as his friend and as somebody right there alongside him, what part did you play? I mean, I'm sure it's difficult. You can't do the work for him.
Yeah.
So what part did you play as he was going through that personally?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, cause he's so busy. It's like, it's not like we talk all the time, but he's very active. Like he'll go down rabbit holes on YouTube. So he's watching videos of, both me and my son had videos out on Leadville. It's like, my son is like very active on YouTube, and he's got great storyteller. So Jelly Roll was watching a lot of that. So it's like inspiration from afar, but generally it's decisions he makes on his own. You can inspire people, and you can try to motivate people, but at the end of the day, he's the one who's walking by the pantry and not eating food. And he talks about this too. It's like they had to hide all the food out of the pantry because if there was 5, I can't remember what he said, 5, whatever, say candy bars in there, he'd eat all 5. Right. And so it took that discipline. And now I think that's definitely a learned skill. And where it really gains momentum is when you see the results. So once he had to fight really hard to actually see results, because your body gets so used to being at this weight or this place it is. It's really hard to get it out of there, because the body just gets used to like, oh, this is what we do. So he had a hard time getting results to get the weight off, even though he was restricting his food. Then he'd go out and party and drink a bunch at night and eat a bunch of shit food, and it just sabotaged the whole day of good work. So now he realizes that it's all makes a difference. He eats 2 meals a day, no processed sugar. He's not drinking, which is so many empty calories, as we know. But he'll very disciplined on his diet, and the point is now he has momentum with that weight coming off, and it's coming off. So that gives him more incentive, because we were going to run, and 5 miles was the furthest he ran on that hunt. And so we're at 5 miles. I'm like, dude, fucking 5 miles, you did it. He goes, we got to get a 10K done. We got to get 10. So you get addicted to those results, right? So now you start seeing things like this shit is working, and you just can't get enough. And so now he's at this place where he can't get enough. Now he wants to get his skin cut off. He wants to get to 200 pounds. He wants to get like an Armani suit fitted. He wants to get in shape. He wants to train. And he's actually got pretty good shoulders. But now you see that excitement in the results. And it's just like, it gives you butterflies a little bit, because you're like, this person in 2 years has completely changed his life. He's a different human. He's running. He's bow hunting. He's not drinking. He's now he's been pardoned by the governor of Tennessee for his, he had to bow hunt because he was a felon.
I saw this,
And it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How did this happen? How can somebody overcome so much and have a whole different future now? But he did it. And he overcame, as I said, all the hurdles that people usually say are crutches, that they can't do this because of this or that or this. He overcame them all. And so can you.
The rest of us have no
can.
excuses.
No, that's right.
Yeah, no excuses.
So, it's. I mean, to your point though, it's a personal decision. We can support them, and we can be cheerleaders, and we can love them and tell them we're proud of them. But they have to make the decision. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I have two questions before we head out, but what's something that you haven't done before that you are going to do next?
Me? Well, here's what I'm excited about.
Okay.
Me and Jelly Roll are running the LA half marathon March 8th.
Okay.
So we were down there and I'm like, dude, I said, you ran 6.4 miles. It's like a sandy up and down road in the heat of Texas. I said, that is like 9 miles of effort. So on a flat road, what you did today would be the equivalent to running 9 miles on flat. I go, if you can run 9 miles, you can run a half marathon. I said,
yes,
let's run the LA half marathon. And he's like, let's do it.
I love it.
So that's, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not something I haven't done that I'm like, but it's a new experience that I haven't done that I'm excited about. So once I feel like I'm playing with like house money. I feel like I've achieved more than I deserved in my life because I've been such a screw up. So now the rewards I get are seeing other people succeed. I mean, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you. I want to see your face everywhere, and I want to see you just crushing it. And I want to see you leading incredible interviews. So that makes my heart full. What I do, I've done it. I don't have real goals for myself other than I want to help others win.
Yeah. Well, the last question I have for you, and thank you so much for your time and letting us bust into your studio with you. This is amazing.
It's all good.
But the listeners of Dirt to Sky are typically business owners, entrepreneurs, those fighting really hard just to keep their businesses surviving. So with all of the life lessons you've learned, things you've taken from your hunts, what is one piece of advice that you have for somebody that is working hard to keep their business afloat?
Yeah. I would say that you're in control. Your attitude, your just how you navigate through the challenges of running a business, that's up to you. There's going to be challenges. I've had plenty of challenges running my own business, and sometimes we take hits and then we fight back, and then we take another hit, then we fight back. As long as the trend line is going up, then that's fine. It's really hard to start a new business and succeed. Most fail. And we all have dreams, and it's the ones that stick with it that make it, right? It's my podcast wasn't getting great numbers to start off because you have to give people a reason to listen, right?
Right.
You have to give people a reason to believe in you. If you just show up and there's like some challenges happen and then you're gone, you didn't give anybody a reason to believe in you. So give people a reason to support you, to say that, you know what, I'm going to hitch my wagon to this guy because it's going to work, because he will not take failure for an answer or for an option. And so you just give people reasons to believe in you, believe in yourself, and it's a long game. It's I've had to tell this to Truett. He's got big goals for running, and he puts himself out there, so he gets criticized by a lot of, men love talking shit about other men. So he's got, he's good looking and shredded and everything else. So it's a lot of reasons to hate on him. And I told him, I said, there's a lot of reasons to talk shit about you. And when he doesn't get his goal, like his goal on this last CIM marathon in Sacramento was to get his fastest ever. He didn't. And he's like, he would just say, hey, it's not over. He goes, I didn't get it this time, but I'm going to get it. And it might not be the next race or the race after, but he goes, I'm going to be training on Monday. Yeah. And this isn't over. So if you like to see me fail, clap, because it's not going to last. Right. Because I'm going to win eventually. And so that happens. That happens in life. You have big goals. And I'm actually going to end it with this one is Jelly Roll. He was talking to Truett on his birthday when we were on that hunt. I was back there. Truett's birthday is December 10th. And so I was FaceTiming him, and Jelly Roll's like, hey, could I say something to him? He's like, yeah. And so he's like, he's watched all Truett's videos and stuff like that. So he's like, hey, he goes, Truett, he goes, I really like how you put yourself out there. You set these huge goals. And he's like, it reminded Jelly Roll of when he when he was just breaking through, kind of had some momentum, as we talked about. There's a decision you make on, do you want to play this venue that holds 2,000 to 4,000 or 10,000 to 12,000, right? And we could sell out the 2 to 4. It'd say Jelly Roll sold out. That's good business, right?
Okay.
That means something.
Right.
Or you could say, let's go to the bigger venue. Let's try to sell 10 to 12,000 tickets, but there's a chance half are going to be empty. And he said, let's go for the big one. He goes, I don't want to celebrate this fictitious win just because I settled for less, but I had this easier to achieve goal. I want to go for the big one.
Yeah.
And so he went for the big one. There's no guarantee it's going to sell out, but what if it did? And now he's playing stadiums. So you have to put yourself out there. And so when you go big, there's going to be times when you get kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. And that's how it goes. If you never take a chance, you might never fail, but you're also never going to achieve any big goal. So it's I think that's a great lesson to learn. I think the biggest one for business people is just know that there are going to be failures. There are going to be tough lessons. There are going to be things that, why did this happen to me? The ones who make it are the ones who just keep pushing forward, and it's a long game. And if we play the long game and we do it right, we're going to win.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's powerful.
Of course.
And I'll take it to heart myself as well. So,
All right. Well, Jordan, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much. And I'm excited to just see what you do.
Thank you. Me too.
And thank you for joining the Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. Thank you to Centurion Real Estate Management and also Northwestern Home Loans for sponsoring today's episode.